The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Another episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Ant Petty Murphy in the building. What's good with you, my boy?
What's happening with it, bro?
Not much, man. StreamYard. I like how y'all doing things. Y'all stepping y'all game up, adding these little extra features and stuff. I can't forget the hit the intro no more and hit the ad. I can't do the okay, StreamYard gotta look professional at this thing. But man, we got a good show tonight. We got to recap this past. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. We're gonna talk about it. I was terrible in the predictions. Horrible. Absolutely, just
it happens to the best of us, dog.
No, that was absolutely just horrible. Just horrible. But we're gonna get to it, man. We'll talk about it. I want to get a chance to talk about this team, you know what I'm saying? Talk about this LSU team. How we feeling? We're gonna get there. Also, man, I'm gonna put this out there because we're gonna talk about it. Best wide receiver freshman class ever.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there. But first, y'all know what we gotta do. We gotta give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We'll be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. And we are back. Man, first of all, great game this weekend. LSU taking on South Alabama. I think this game was kind of underrated as far as what we would see and how much we would learn about our team. South Alabama came in this game red hot. What was it? Top 15 scoring offense, top 15 total offense, if I'm not mistaken. Coming into the game.
Mm-hmm.
So this was definitely a albeit a team with not as much talent depth wise. This was a formidable opponent to at least give you some semblance of what it looked like on offense. So I definitely look forward to this game and seeing and at the gate, man, LSU just jumped all over them.
Yeah. To your point, South Alabama had been putting up a lot of points, although it wasn't to the level of competition of like a schedule of what LSU was playing, you know, they still were lighting up the scoreboard against the competition. So a lot of people coming into this game thought that this would be a test for the defense, you know, playing an offense that was willing, capable of putting up that many points. And I think overall it was a good showing by the defense. You know, that South Alabama team obviously only held to 10 points, but if you look at third down efficiency, they only got 4 of 14 on third down. We held them very good. Only gave up 110 rushing yards. Yeah, you gave up 300 yards total, but a lot of that came in like garbage time, you know, later on in the game and stuff like that.
Came in third quarter.
Yeah.
147 of that came in the third quarter.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. Like it was really game was already over with at that point.
Mhm.
So, I think it was kind of what we all wanted to see as fans to come out and play a complete game. You know, dominate a team that you should, you know, handle pretty easily, and that's exactly what they did on all phases of the game. You know, we talking about the defense right now, but I mean offensively they were clicking from the beginning of the game. First play, you know, you scored 2 touchdowns in 3 plays. And it should have been 2 touchdowns in 2 plays, you know, but Kyron Lacy didn't pick up the block on that long run. You know what I mean? So they did what they wanted to offensively and with their first team offense. And that's exactly what you want to see against an opponent like that. I mean, Caden Durham that was his coming out party. I know we had already seen flashes of it, but we really saw what he was capable of doing. 7 carries, 128 yards, bro. Like 18 yards per carry is insane. And that doesn't even account for the other 89 yards he had on through the air. So ridiculous ball game from him. You were able to run for 237 yards as a team. And that's one thing we had been wanting to see from this running game, from this offense was establishing the running game. A lot of that was him, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you still saw other guys show flashes. You know, Josh Williams had a couple nice runs. So I think that there were a lot of things to take away from this game that make you feel positive going forward into the bye week.
Yeah. Looking at it, this defense, I think no one had questions, doubts really about the offense outside of just wanting to see them get off to a quicker start, put the ball in the end zone on red zone opportunities.
And
Go
running
ahead.
game.
And running game. But defense is kind of where everybody's been hanging their hat. Just want to see, you know, what we would look like. You know, what can we do? We say at the beginning of the season, if this team can go from 118 or I think 116, whatever we were last year, to the 80s, we would be, you know, showing a lot of improvement. Yeah. Currently, right now, LSU is ranked as high as the 71st total defense.
Yeah.
Scoring defense, I'm trying to get there, see what that is. I think we're in I think it's don't make me lie. Oh, 53. There you go. 53. That's what I was thinking. 53 total on defense. So
yeah. The scoring defense.
Scoring defense, yes.
Yeah. And the one that gets me though, when we're talking about defensive stats, is team pass efficiency. We rank 100th in pass efficiency on defense. That's considering the amount of veterans we have on that back end of that defense, you would assume that we would be better than that. And I know we're starting to play some young guys now, so hopefully we start to see that, you know, increase a little bit. But that's the only problem with the defense I have right now is the secondary.
Yeah,
because linebackers looked great Saturday. Whit Weeks had a great game. I mean, Whit Weeks 9 tackles, Greg Penn 14 tackles. I mean,
he got the game ball. Greg Penn did.
Yeah.
Deservingly so.
Oh yeah.
Also, looking at the stats by quarter, the second quarter you held realistically. I want to talk about by quarter.
Okay.
First quarter, only 73 total yards for South Alabama. Second quarter, 51 total yards. Third quarter is where everything kind of bust open. You gave up 147 total yards. And then in the fourth quarter, you held them to 62 total yards. So again, all of those yardage that we saw that this defense gave up was pretty much in the third quarter.
It was really mostly on that one drive where they got the ball after half and went down and scored that touchdown. And you can attribute it to that to them making second half adjustments. You know what I mean? Us maybe coming out the locker room feeling a little complacent with a 35-3 lead. You know what I mean? But they had a couple chunk plays on that drive. But I think other than really that one drive, you pretty much held them in check the whole game.
Yeah. So I think I told you I mentioned it. The kid who caught the touchdown for South Alabama, Anthony Eager. That was actually so during track seasons when Jayden was running, that was his, I guess you could say his rival. They became real good buddies and stuff. He was actually when we took the visit, he was Jayden's host for the visit. Another thing, that's Ryan Williams' cousin. So yeah. But man, what a definitely I was happy to see him have a good game. South Alabama, man. I was impressed with how our defense looked.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
The only thing that I would say that I would have liked to see from our defense that we didn't see, turnovers.
Yeah. But they showed the I think it was at the start of the game. Gio Lopez had gone 132 passes.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not.
No, I get it. I get it.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset that they didn't get one. I'm just saying, like, if you're looking at something that you know you could have seen from the defense that you didn't, that's about the only thing that you could say.
Completely agree. Flip it over to the offense because I know we've been giving the defense a lot of love. Like we said, first play from jump, Caden Durham catches a screen pass, takes it to the house. Second play from offensive side of the ball, Caden Durham gets it, breaks for a long 89-yard run. Geez, man. I mean, the kid is special. I don't even know what more to say or how else to describe it. The kid is special.
Yeah, you started to see a little of that track speed on display on those first couple plays, and if he get in the open field, you might as well say it's over with. That he getting 6. So I mean, the question I have is what took so long for him to be part of the offense? You could have used some of that earlier in the season against, I don't know, USC maybe, when you didn't have a running game. But he got home run ability, man. And for this offense that doesn't have a running game, that's such a major factor that he could bring to the table. Because anytime he in the backfield, the defense got to be worried about him at this point.
Yeah, man. I just want to say, if we gonna play the woulda, coulda, shoulda, I wish we could have saw him and Emory together as a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
God, that would have.
I mean, I ain't even gonna go there. Not even gonna go there. I got a woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I ain't gonna go there.
I think I know. Well, I was gonna say, if Emory wasn't hurt, we probably wouldn't even see Durham. But
I mean, I wish we could see Durham and Holly, but Yeah, I agree.
But man, we can't talk about the offense and not talk about the glaring issue. Nussmeier's 2 picks. Nussmeier's 2 picks.
Talk about it.
It's some fans that want to not talk about it. It's 2 sides to this.
Okay.
Side one. Y'all, please don't do this to Nussmeier all the same bullshit that y'all, same bullshit that y'all did to Jayden Daniels. Please don't do this. Not fair to the kid. Don't do that. That's one. Two, please stop acting like if somebody says, man, he's got to improve, that we're bashing Nussmeier. We're not saying that because to be fair, we have been saying this whole time about the gunslinger mentality, about the decision making. You've got to make better decisions. The passes he threw 2 picks, but if we had been playing, I'll even say Vanderbilt, it might be 3, maybe 4, because there were several passes where he stared down the wide receiver the entire route and then threw it to him.
I mean, let's be real. USC, I'm not gonna blame him for that pick. That was the end of the game. No. But South Carolina, he had some questionable throws there that he ended up with 1 pick, but it should have been. I know the horse collar one was, but the pick he ended up throwing was terrible. I mean, then the one he threw, the first one he threw Saturday. I mean,
terrible.
It's not that he don't have ability. I think he just needs more time and more reps mentally, as far as, reading defenses and understanding coverages and things like that. And that'll come with more time that he plays. You know what I mean? Like, comparing him to Jayden, who was a 3-year starter whenever he got here, is unfair to Nussmeier.
Yeah.
Comparing him to Joe Burrow, who came here as a grad student, who had the ability to just sit there, watch film and all that, studying and things of that nature when he was here, is unfair to Nussmeier. He's a first-year starter. He'll get better. But at the same time, it's not unfair for us as fans to say he needs to improve. He needs to improve on certain areas of his game. And right now, reading defenses and understanding coverages is the weakness of his game, if there is one.
I don't know if it's so much as he doesn't understand the coverage as much as he thinks that
he trusts his arm too much. That might be the case too. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say, if it is a weakness, I'm not going to say that is the case. You know what I mean? But part of that comes with being a gunslinger type quarterback, that you're gonna get those type of interceptions where he trusts his arm too much. Mm-hmm. But it ain't the same as some of the other interceptions. But nah, I mean,
he is spamming
and so he said Pressure said Nuss has 3 years of watching film. He does, but what I'm saying is Joe Burrow didn't have to take classes. He was taking online classes, so he could watch film all day, every day. Well, other quarterbacks had to be. Same with Jayden last year. You know what I mean? Jayden was in the virtual reality thing all the time because he didn't have class like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's different whenever you've already graduated.
And to be fair, if I'm not mistaken, the start of the 2020 season, Miles Brennan had graduated. Mm-hmm. And they didn't have the virtual reality room at the time, but he still was able to watch film.
He was able to watch film all day with the coordinator. You know what I mean? Like, that helped
when he wasn't fishing or hunting. But yeah,
or at walk-ons.
Yeah.
Shout out Miles Brennan. Wasn't expecting the Miles Brennan reference.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But I mean, I'm not knocking Nussmeier, because I knew that was gonna come with part of the territory with having a gunslinger mentality at quarterback and it being his first year as a starter. You know what I mean? My only thing is we gotta limit those, because if you playing against, it almost costs you against South Carolina. You know what I mean? But if you're playing a better team than South Alabama, throwing 2 turnovers could cost you the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anybody unsung hero that you saw that really stood out to you,
Unsung hero.
or anybody not getting enough credit? I'll say that.
Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor, like, so we always talk about him as being us as like security blanket and all that kind of stuff. And he had 3 catches or whatever, but so go back to Caden Durham's run, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it? It was either the run or the catch, one of them. But Mason Taylor blocking on the perimeter sprung him. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? His blocking on the perimeter sprung the hole, opened the hole for Durham to bust through, pause, to get the touchdown. You know what I'm saying? So I think he don't get enough credit in the blocking phase of the game. Like, we know what he can do as a receiver. You know, first LSU tight end with over 1,000 career yards. You know, he got the
Over
record and
100
all that,
catches.
100 receptions and all that. He got the reception. He the GOAT tight end at LSU. But blocking wise, I don't think he get enough credit.
Yeah. Completely agree. Trying to think of who else. I'm gonna tell you somebody, and people have talked about him and give him his love. Aaron Anderson,
Yeah.
the wide receiver he's become this year, is truly being a sight for sore eyes. And I got one more, if you allow me. Xavier Thomas.
Okay.
What in the return game, being able to flip the field, giving us a extra first down pretty much, with every return.
It was them kick returns Saturday though.
Yeah. Also, just even coming in on offense and making a little noise, that's kind of stuff. That's what really stands out, in my opinion, when it comes to them. Oh, and well, go ahead. I was going to say.
No, you got another one?
No, I was going to say Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, I wish we could see more of them though.
I don't know what the holdup is, but I'm with you. I want to see more of them.
But I think I flipped to the other side of the ball. Savion Jones. I think a lot of people had high expectations and high hopes for him this season. I think he lived up to it for the most part. And I know Swinson get a lot of the love and praise, deservedly so, for what he's doing this season so far with all the sacks he's been getting. But Savion been holding it down on the other side of the line all season long. I mean, he's getting sacks, he's getting TFLs, he's constantly causing havoc in the backfield. And I think that if it wasn't for Swinson, I think we'd be talking about Savion a lot more. But I think if you take away Swinson and just look at his numbers, Savion numbers on the season, I mean, he ain't having a bad season. You know, he got 12 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. You know what I mean? Like that's a great season in 5 games. You know what I mean? But it's just that Swinson, on the other hand, putting up ungodly numbers. You know what I mean? Having what, 5, 6 sacks or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So, but he right there behind him. You know what I mean? But nobody really talking about him.
All right. Like I said, I enjoyed the game. That was probably one of the few games I actually enjoyed this weekend. I lost a bet, bro, with an 8-year-old.
On what game?
On one of the kids' games. The Georgia Bama game. Because so the bet was, if Georgia wins, he has to bear crawl 40 yards at practice on Tuesday. But I told him, if Alabama win, I got to run a 40. I got to race him in a 40.
Hope you better stretch.
I'm going to be stretched. I got to find some good shoes too, bro, because I failed last year when I tried to run. I got to get a good stage. But
better stretch them hammies, my boy.
Yeah, but Yeah, man. Let's show the people how we did, man. This ain't pretty. At least for one of us.
I don't think I did too hot.
Penn State, you got Penn State. You actually did. You went 4-1, bro.
Oh, okay. Not too
On the
bad.
other hand, I went 1-4. Yeah. And it wasn't even, hold on. I just want to go back. It wasn't even close. Blue-eyed. Well, they had a chance. And then this one, we already know. We're gonna talk about that one too. Dylan also went 1-4.
I'm about to crash out.
He got the Texas A&M right.
He got the Texas A&M right.
He got
it's Tyler.
The one he got right is the one we got wrong.
Yeah, it's Tyler watching because he said he believe in Dylan. He gonna follow Dylan picks. So
hope he didn't put no money on it.
Yeah.
But we got the same record, so I mean.
Yeah, but I should have the same. I should have the same record as you.
So we are the same records. So technically.
Hey, go take a bath. Go to bed. All right. And tell the people. So let me ask you a question. Come on. I'll let you talk. Go ahead. So, looking at your picks, where do you think you went wrong?
Louisville.
Huh?
Louisville
is where you went wrong. You would have been all right if it hadn't been for Louisville.
Okay. No, actually, no. Georgia.
Yeah, that's kind of. That was. I think that was actually one of your more reasonable picks, but yeah. But all right, appreciate it. Tell the people now. Before you go, you got your first career catch on Saturday. How'd it feel?
Good.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to tell the people before you go on for the night? Nah, you don't.
Yeah.
What?
Stay safe.
There you go. All right. Appreciate it. Have a good night. Love you. All right. So yeah, man, it's just I looked at this. But I do want I want to talk about these games. Illinois, Penn State. This Oklahoma State, Kansas State.
I don't trust Oklahoma State, bro.
I did see that.
Go back to our
so
pick.
here's the crazy part about it. I didn't trust Oklahoma State either, but I didn't trust Kansas State even more. And it's
this the thing about Kansas State. So the BYU game,
right?
If you look at it, they really shot themselves in the foot so much in that game. So like the score looked worse than what really happened in the game. Like BYU had, I think, 4 touchdown drives of less than 50 yards. You know what I mean? So it's like if you getting the ball on your side of the on plus territory every drive, you should be blowing the other team out. You know what I mean? So I just kind of just scratched that game from my memory and was like, that was a fluke pretty much. Like they're not going to do that again where they're going to turn the ball over that many times in their own territory. And sure enough, they didn't. And Oklahoma State can't run the ball. And if you one-dimensional against a good defense, you're not going to have much success. And until they can run the ball, I don't think they're going to really do much. Because that quarterback ain't the type of quarterback that Gundy used to have, and that's able to lift a team up without a running game. You know what I mean? Like Bowman, okay, but he need help around him, and I don't think Gordon giving him that this year.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you about the Illinois game. It's funny because I said I had picked against Illinois 2 times in a, before, and they burnt me both times.
Your boy Luke Altmaier, huh?
Yeah. This game also, it's funny because I literally said we know how it is about winning 2 games on the road, back to back like that, and it typically doesn't bode well. But I went against all logic in this one.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, I just saw that. They have been on a tear. They're on a mission to redeem their name. So I saw that one coming. Arkansas absolutely blew it. You blew it. You ham sandwich,
Man,
sour bacon,
that pissed me off so
crackling
bad.
bread, some.
I know we didn't pick it, but which one was worse, Arkansas or Auburn?
Auburn was terrible. They weren't even supposed to be throwing the ball.
Yeah, that was bad, bro.
They were. I don't think Hugh Freeze called a pass play.
That was bad, dog.
That is, yes. But that told me a lot. That told me everything I need to know about Oklahoma. They are who I thought they were. They are who I thought they were. But yeah. What's up, Nick? Yeah. So
let's talk about the game, though, man.
Let's talk about it.
The game of the weekend.
I literally started watching this when I first started keeping up. When I looked up, the score was 21-0. Like in the blink of an eye.
See, I had, I do the multi TV thing on Saturdays. So I had one of them on LSU, one of them on Bama the whole game. And from the opening kickoff, Bama was on that ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I had multi-device. I had TV, cell phone, and tablet.
Yeah.
TV was on Houston, obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Cell phone was on LSU because I couldn't get ESPN Plus or something like that. I couldn't. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I couldn't get Plus to work, so I had to use Hulu to do that on my phone. But then on my tablet, I had the Ground PV game.
So, yeah.
That's why I would. So because the Alabama game, once I looked up and it was 21-0, I was like, "There's no need for me to watch. I'm gonna be running on Saturday." Until LSU game went off, and I flipped over and watched this Georgia Bama game. What a game! First off, what a game. Instant classic.
Where you want to start first? That's what. It's so much going on in this game. You got to break it down in parts because it was almost like two games in one.
Yeah. I'll let you go ahead. Where you want to start? Because you started most of the first half. I didn't.
First half I think was a Kalen DeBoer, like clinic, bro. Like for everybody who thought that Bama wasn't gonna be nothing when Saban left and all that, I think he kind of showed you what life after Saban is for Bama, and that's an explosive offense, bro, with multiple different guys. Like Milroe's legs was on display. He scored the opening touchdown with a run. I mean, but it was explosive plays. And then it was long sustained drives at the same time, though. You know what I mean? It wasn't like 8 plays, 6 plays. Then they had one that was only 3 plays. But you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like they just didn't have to drive the ball down the field. We're talking 70, 80-yard drives that they put together against what we thought was a great Georgia defense. You know, that's what it looked like all season. But they just made them look pedestrian in that first half. I mean, they did whatever they wanted to do in the first half. And they put up 30 points in the first half. I know some of that came from the defense, that safety or whatever, but I mean, they 28 points on offense in the first half against Georgia. Most people thinking that's ball game. You know what I mean? Like you get up that many points on Georgia and your defense hadn't given up a point, really. Well, they gave up 1 touchdown in the first half, but your defense don't only give up 1 touchdown. You thinking, oh, we finna coast for a victory. But second half, oh my bad. First half, also Bama defense in the first half. Carson Beck rattled, completely rattled. Looked like an undraftable quarterback, dog. Like threw the interception, then threw another interception. Gets the ball back after he threw an interception, and the very next play, after his second interception of the half, The very next throw should have been a pick six, but the linebacker for Bama like batted the ball down or whatever. But it should have been like he catch that, he walked into the end zone. 2 plays later, intentional grounding in the end zone for a safety. Like he looked undraftable in the first half, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, besides that one touchdown drive, and most of that was on the ground. You know what I mean? With Etienne running the ball. Beck had a couple scrambles or whatever, but I mean, first half he looked like I almost said Bo Nix at Auburn, but I don't know if it was that. You know, it was like,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
you know what I'm saying? It was bad. So, okay, I say
Max Johnson at UCLA.
Yeah, it was rough, bro. He was seeing ghosts out there, dog. Like he looked visibly shook. But then whenever they went at halftime, I don't know, he must have drunk the Michael Jordan juice from Space Jam or something, because second half he looked like a different quarterback, dog.
Yeah, that's kind of why I picked up. I tuned in and it was 21-33, and I'm like, oh snap! And do you take the field goal instead of going for it on 4th and goal? It's like 4th and 5, 4th and goal from 5, something like that. I get taking it. Hindsight is 2020, but it's with 8 or so minutes left, 9 minutes left in the game.
Yeah,
and you've been struggling for points. I get it, but
yeah, I see both sides.
Yeah, I get it. I don't blame them for going for it, but yeah. Then you got after that, you've got they come back down and score, make it 28-33. I said, Dylan, this might be a game. They get the ball, dude. They got the ball back when they scored that long touchdown to go up 34-33. I was like, oh, it might be over, because I'll tell you why. Not because Bama's not talented enough. But remember what I told you, one of the reasons why I wasn't worried about Bama in Tiger Stadium with the boy for his first year.
Mm-hmm.
About him.
Been there before.
He never been there before, and it's got that clutch. Does he have that gene or not gene? Does he have that coaching ability or the same gusto, the experience to call that play, the right play? Yeah, that proved that to me.
Yeah,
that proved it. I mean, I know it's one game, but that said a lot.
To me, it more so answered the question about Jalen Milroe, because when they scored that touchdown, my question was, all right, what they scored that touchdown? It was what, 2 minutes left in the game? I think 2.5 minutes left in the game. Whatever. I was like, all right, you gotta drive your team down there for a field goal attempt to win the game. You got 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, against this Georgia defense that's held you this half. You know, so I was like, what can you do, Milroe? And he showed you what he can do. I think he boosted himself into Heisman talks with that performance Saturday.
Completely agree. I think it's people still saying Milroe's not a good passer. I'm like, what games are y'all watching?
27 of 33 for 374, bro.
Not NFL throws. What are you looking? What game are you watching?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Yeah, but the same people will say, like, Carson Beck was 27 of 50 for 439, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks.
A lot of people talked about, oh, he's not, I wouldn't take him in front of Nuss, and I don't think I would take him in front of Nuss, but I'll say that I don't know if I'd take Carson Beck in front of Nuss after.
I thought you were talking about Milroe. I was about to say.
Oh, no, I wouldn't take. But I will say this: you can't be too judgmental on Beck, because Nuss had a similar game against lesser opponent. I mean not yards. I get
the fact that he was able to bring his team back from being down 28-3 or 28-7. I mean, like 28-0. They were down 28-0, and they came back to take the lead, bro.
But Nuss did it against South Carolina.
He did, and we gave him credit for it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
You know what I mean? You know, so it's like,
yeah,
we criticize Carson Beck for the mistakes he made in the game, but credit him for bringing his team back, albeit they lost. We did the same thing for Nussmeier, except his team won the game.
If Georgia wins that game, people forget
talk about people talk about how incredible or resilient the kid is and all that kind of, you know what I mean? Like how mentally strong he is, all that kind of stuff. That's all you would have been hearing. And it's still true, his team just didn't win.
Yeah. Georgia Bama was the best game this weekend
by far.
But there was another instant classic that took place in college football. It just happened on Friday night. Virginia Tech, Miami.
Oh man, that was a hell of a game.
What a game! What a game! The end on a Hail Berry attempt, dude. That is freaking
a fail Mary because I think he caught that ball.
But you think so? But yeah.
Well, I say it like this: they ruled it a catch. I don't think they had enough video evidence to overturn that say it wasn't a catch. You know what I'm saying? So I think he caught it based off what they said.
Yeah. I think this game, I don't know if it helped him as much or if it hurt him.
Who?
Cam Ward, as far as the Heisman talk.
I don't think it hurt him.
Just middle of the pack.
I don't think it hurt him. I mean, he wasn't bad. Mm-hmm. He had bad moments, you know what I mean? But he also showed great moments. And down 10 in the fourth quarter, bring your team back to win, albeit questionably win, you know what I mean? But you still put them in position to win with the 2 touchdowns you had in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, I think that was – I don't think his stock
dropped,
changed as much as Milrose did. I think Milrose skyrocketed. You know what I mean? He went from being like 4th, 5th on the list to being probably 2nd, 3rd. You know what I mean? But and we'll get to that a little bit later. But
yeah,
I think Cam Ward. I think he's still in good position.
All right. Other notable games from this weekend. I know we kind of talked about. So with the way Georgia played,
there go Tyler.
Yeah. What up, Tyler? You missed it. We reviewed our picks and it ain't look too good. I hope you follow all Dylan picks. But anyway, what was I talking about? Games. Georgia. I think it's a team that I think we know a lot more about. And it's not just because of what happened with Georgia when they played Georgia.
Yeah.
Kentucky
this weekend, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Kentucky. A lot of us wrote off Kentucky, and hey, they lost to South Carolina. Oh, they had a wake up game against Georgia. Well, I guess they woke up Ole Miss because they upset them big time in Vaught Hemingway Stadium. in turn, I think we know a little bit more about South Carolina. I think both Georgia and South Carolina are a lot better than we actually perceive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I think that South Carolina game was kind of a fluke for Kentucky based off what we've seen versus Georgia and South Carolina. That wasn't their best performance against, and I think that's what a lot of us were judging them off of. But what they've done and bounced back off that and done, I mean, is very impressive. Taking Georgia to the brink and then going into Ole Miss and beating them, and really kind of making Ole Miss play their type of game.
Yeah.
You know, Ole Miss really didn't. I mean, Kentucky held the ball for 40 minutes, bro. You know what I mean? Like Ole Miss didn't really even have a chance to get going offensively like they normally do, and that's kudos. You gotta give credit to Kentucky for being able to run the ball, and I mean, and honestly, they really didn't even run the ball very well. They didn't even have 100 yards rushing. They just was like Brock
Timely, I guess you could, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say. You know, but Brock Vandegrift played like Haynes King to me. You know what I mean? Like it ain't pretty, but it's effective. You know what I mean? Like, and he found a way to kind of will his team to victory. You know, they had their lucky breaks. You know, dude running into the end zone, get popped, fumble the ball, and his teammate catch it and fall into the end zone. But you need them type of breaks to upset a team on the road like that sometimes.
It's funny. We saw Ole Miss do it when they beat Alabama. Remember the pass that the dude bounced off the guy helmet? Yeah, so
you
it's
know,
stuff like that. So
I mean, we had breaks versus South Carolina. You know, they just weren't penalty for them. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you need things to go your way, and it did for Kentucky. But I think it showed that Ole Miss maybe has a little more vulnerability than a lot of people thought going into the season. You know, they got some weaknesses.
Yeah.
They got some weaknesses that you can exploit.
I honestly thought that either LSU or Ole Miss will get their first loss in their game not this weekend, but next weekend.
Yeah.
I realistically thought that will be both teams' first loss. Now,
I mean, it could be a playoff eliminator.
Now, just finna say, this game just got a whole heck of a lot more important.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Trying to see what was
I give credit where credit is due. We criticize him a lot, so I'm gonna go and give him flowers whenever he deserves them. Prime.
Yeah.
Hell of a win for Colorado going down to the bounce house and not just beating UCF, but the fashion in which they beat UCF. That UCF team was leading the country in rushing. And you wouldn't have known that based off what the performance that they had against Colorado. Colorado defensive line, I mean, pretty dominant, bro. I mean, if you look at the stats, it's gonna look like they ran for a whole bunch of yards because they ran for like 170 some yards, but they had like 40 attempts. You know what I mean? So they made them work for them yards, and they made KJ Jefferson look like pedestrian at times. I mean, he threw 2 picks. Shador looked good. Travis Hunter is the best player I probably have ever seen in college football. The impact he got on the game is ridiculous, bro.
On both sides of the ball.
Yes,
wow,
bro. Like touchdown and a pick in the same game. Like, and it ain't the first time he's done it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And he has like 100 yards receiving every game, bro. Like it's ridiculous. Like when you go to look at his stats on ESPN, bro, they don't know whether to give you offensive stats or defensive stats. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy, bro. How you can put up like over 500-600 yards receiving in 4 or 5 games. 5 games, I think he got like 600 yards receiving, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah,
and on the flip side of the ball, he got interceptions and stuff. Like, man, I think he got 2 interceptions on the season.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think he got at least 2.
I don't know. ESPN don't give you defensive stats; it just give you offensive stats for him.
Hold on. Let me see if I
Oh,
got.
there you go, right there. Defensive stats. He got 2 interceptions on the season.
Yeah.
If he mess around and get 5 picks, and he end up with double-digit touchdowns, man, just go ahead and engrave that man's name on the trophy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple more games.
What you got?
Shout out to Arizona with the bounce back win over Utah, 23-10.
Cam Rising ain't played, did he?
I'm not even sure.
I don't think he did. That man got a 7th year of eligibility and ain't even playing. Crazy.
Yeah. That one, Minnesota got absolutely robbed.
See that.
They lost 24-27 to Michigan. They kicked the onside kick, recovered it.
Oh, I seen that offsides call. Yeah,
They called offsides, but the kid wasn't offsides.
Yeah, I seen that.
And bruh, it's about to freeze over. Navy has outpassed somebody in a game. Navy's quarterback threw for 2.
Oh,
he was not.
UAB?
Yeah, against UAB. Here's the crazy part. He was 9 of 11. 9-11. That's crazy. 9 of 11 for 225 and 2 touchdowns.
That's crazy numbers. That's video game numbers. But
dude had 3 catches for 108 yards. Another dude had they threw a 74-yard pass and a 77-yard pass in this game.
That's video
that
game
is
stuff,
wild,
bro.
Yeah.
But I got one more game, then we can move on.
All right.
Matt Sluka, or ain't that his name?
Yes. Talk to him.
You should have took the 300,000 a month, my boy.
3,000.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Yeah, you should have took that. You should have took that deal they was offering, my boy, because Malik Hodge-Williams, he looked a little better than you did at that position, my boy. He looked like he can actually throw the ball and run the ball. So UNLV
he saw what he posted when they said, he said, it's time. Let's go.
Man,
it's my time.
They might be better off without you, my boy. The grass ain't always greener. But and shout out to UNLV for being ranked for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm not mistaken, it's the first time in school history, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's crazy. They are tied at 25 with Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's congratulations to them, man.
Yeah, so great game. That was a great game. We mentioned it a little bit earlier, so I do want to jump into this. Talked about the Heisman and where we're at right now. So let me ask this. Ant, right now, who are your top 3 Heisman candidates to date?
You made it so hard because you said 3. Because I had posted on Facebook earlier. Before you even had sent out what we was talking about, I had posted on Facebook today. I had posted 4 people for Heisman, my top 4 Heisman people right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, at number 4, I had Jalen Milroe. At number 3, I got Cam Ward. At number 2, I got Ashton Jeanty for Boise State. And for number 1, I got the best football player in college football, Travis Hunter.
Yeah. I honestly, I said 3 because I wasn't thinking about Jalen Milroe. And honestly, a lot of these topics, outside of like game specific stuff, I kind of think about beforehand. So I had this up here. Nick say Hunter, Milroe, Ward.
Ashton Jeanty got to be up there.
You got to have Ashton Jeanty in there. Ashton Jeanty stats on the year in
crazy.
If I'm not, How many is this? 3 games or 4 games?
4 games, I think. They've had
4,
about
yeah, 4 games. Yeah, 4 games in a 4-game stretch. He has 37. Oh no, that's wrong. I'm sorry. Here you go. He has 82 carries for 845 yards, 13 touchdowns. He's got 6 receptions for 19 yards as well. He's averaging 10.3 yards per touch.
was
And
was
before,
even what's even crazier is he would have more than that, but they played Portland State and he had 11 carries for 127 yards in the first half and didn't touch the ball again.
Mhm. And I know some people may say, man, it's Boise State. You just said Portland State. Look who they played. All right, let's talk about who they played. Georgia Southern. I'll give you that. But they played Oregon. He dropped 200 on them.
What's
He
they
also
is?
just played Washington State and dropped 200 on them. So
What's
let me be a little bit more specific on what he like the yards he had in each game. Trying to get it.
versus Washington
The
State? Oh, go ahead.
just the Oregon State game, 25 carries, 192 for 3 touchdowns.
Washington State, 26 carries, 259, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't care. That boy is a baller. Completely agree. He should be invited to, to the Heisman, and God forbid, barring any injuries to Travis Hunter, he should be number 2. If Travis Hunter gets hurt, then he's number 1.
Yep.
He moves up, in my opinion, unless Milroe and Ward just completely go bananas.
And I mean, to be fair, Boise State does play UNLV, so he has a ranked matchup later in the season, and they got to play Oregon State, so it's another big school. So you're looking at playing 3 power schools, if you want to call Oregon State and Washington State that now. I mean, but still, and then another ranked school. So I mean, it ain't like he playing at FCS teams. You know what I mean? They don't.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, Genty is having an amazing year. We know we talked about the others at length. But Cam Ward, matter of fact, let me pull up his stats. So just to be fair, because I think we've talked about Travis Hunter and Milroe. But let's look at Cam Ward's what in the world just happened? Cam Ward's stats on the season. He is a 113 for 161. That's 70.2% for 1,782 yards. That's almost 2,000 yards in what are they? 5 games. That's he's averaging 11.1 yard per pass. He has 18 touchdowns, 18 and 4 interceptions on the season.
Yeah, he's the number 2 passer in the country, only behind Jackson Dart.
Yeah. Trying to see if they have his
That's
rushing
yards.
up here. Rushing stats too. 22 carries, 146 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Ashton Genty leads the nation in rushing by 160 yards.
That's crazy.
And what's even crazier is he's only played in 4 games, dog. Most people have played 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dude who in second place, you know what I mean? He on it. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
160 yards, dog.
that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm trying to pull up Milroe stats. This thing, computer moving slow. All right, here we go for Milroe. Now, I just told you Cam Ward. Milroe, he's 4-0. I'm saying 4-0 in 4 games. He's got 62 passes. I'm sorry, 62 completions on 85 passes, 72.9% for 964 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 1 pick.
So he got about half the yards that Cam Ward got.
Just about rushing. He has 52 carries for 273 and 8 touchdowns. 8 touchdowns. So he's got 18 touchdowns, but his are 8 rushing and 10 passing. So
Yeah. I don't know. It's close, but I still put Cam above Milroe barely right now.
I would too. Travis Hunter, ridiculous. Amazing year. Just what's funny? I might would have my prediction. I don't know if you remember our first SWAT media day. We had predictions afterwards, and I said in 3 years, I think two SWAT players could be invited to the Heisman. I was and it was crazy because we was talking about Shador and Travis, but now I mean, of course, they've moved up and stuff. Shador's not. I don't see him making it this year.
I think he's about 7 on the list.
Yeah, but Travis Hunter, that's a reality. And granted,
I got a better stat for you, or a better prediction thing for you. You're gonna see three black quarterbacks get drafted in the first round.
Yeah, it's gonna be big.
Cam Ward, Shador, Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, I can see it.
D-Live say, could Milroe be good in Miami with Tyreek and Waddle? That would be scary.
Mm-hmm.
That would be scary.
He would be. I don't think he ends up there. Somebody said about mention with the Giants, and I could see them possibly doing that.
The Giants not gonna. He not what they. Carson Beck gonna be a Giants quarterback. Watch. I'm being 1,000% real right now.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these organizations, dog, they still old school in their way of thinking whenever it comes to face of the franchise and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And Jalen Milroe I do not see him being a Giant.
Yeah. I get it.
But put him in Miami with Mostert and A-Chain in the backfield and Tyreek and Waddle out wide, and imagine what you could do as far as they got to fire who?
I think he said Dave. I think he mean Daniel Jones.
Dave Gettleman. I think he's talking about the general manager, but they got a new general manager. Dave Gettleman gone. But man, just imagine what they could do in terms of the read option and RPO game with all that speed on the field, bro. That's deadly.
Yeah. So we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I want to circle back to it. Best freshman wide receiver class ever. Is that a stretch?
It might be. Because I saw the graphic that was put out. And it's a bunch of receivers, but if you look at some of them numbers on that graphic, it ain't great numbers. You know what I mean? But I think it's very, 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 very top heavy with Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith. But after Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith, I think there's a little bit of a drop off. Like I think Wesco at Clemson is good. Ryan Wingo, I think he's gonna be good or great. You know what I mean? But I don't think they on the Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith level. Cam Coleman got potential. You know what I mean? There's a few receivers on that list. There's a kid at Michigan State who pretty good. Auburn got 2, Cam Coleman, and I can't remember the other kid name, but I just feel like this receiving class might end up being one of the best classes of all time or whatever, but I think right now they just very top heavy, and it's just rare that you see a freshman making the plays like we saw with Luther Burden a few years ago, right? When he bust on the scene as a freshman. Like, what's your boy from Purdue who when they beat Ohio State had like 3 touchdowns? Moore, Rondell Moore. You know, like you every now and then you see kids have these crazy freshman years, but you just hardly ever see 2 of them doing it and at the same time, especially at programs like Ohio State and Alabama on the big stage. You know what I mean? And like Nick mentioned, one of them being 17 years old. Like that's ridiculous, bro. And it ain't like they just good. They're making spectacular plays. Like Jeremiah Smith 2 one-handed catches, insane. That's NFL stuff. Ryan Williams with that play, man,
Tip
when he
ball
made
to himself.
that
The spinning move.
was crazy. But the touchdown where he made the DBs hug each other and like, man, that was ridiculous. You seen that Kyrie crossover move he had where he caught it with his back to the DB and made this, man, that's next level stuff, dog. And it's rare seeing that from two dudes at such a young age.
I agree, man. I agree. I thought, just looking at it, because that's the freshmen we're seeing, and yeah, they are already. But then I'm looking at guys we haven't seen yet, but we know or we assume have it. Jelani Watkins, Billy Eye. That's just at LSU. There are several other wide receivers that got picked up, went to other, other SEC rivals that we know have it. We just hadn't seen.
Well, we think they got it. You know,
we think they got it. That's true. So,
but and that's why I say I think they can end up being one of the best classes. But like right now, I don't think it's enough production to say that this is the best ever. In my opinion, I mean, I can't off the top of my head name another one better. Just off the top of my head, but I just feel like it's really 2-3 guys at the top who really like carrying this class right now.
Yeah. I don't even want to stay here long just because it's just, Saints.
Nope, not
lose to the Falcons.
All right, so
Young Hoku.
Yeah, what's crazy to me is you don't allow offensive touchdown. You score multiple touchdowns and you still lose the game. So Nick is 100% right. The Saints beat themselves. Rashid Shaheed, you were taught in junior high not to field a punt inside the 10-yard line.
Bingo.
You definitely don't field a punt inside the 5-yard line over your shoulder. Like, that's just stupid mistake. I'm not gonna fault Carr too much for the pick six or whatever. I mean, fluky stuff happens, but Carr put the Carr in the offense, went down and scored, and put the team in position to win. And for the second week in a row, the defense didn't do what they had to do to win the game. Last week, you give up the 61-yard pass to Goddard or whatever, ball game. This week, pass interference. Falcons didn't even really have to do much. That one penalty pretty much put them in field goal range for, ball game. So I'm not blaming the defense for the loss, but all I'm saying is there's blame to go around all over on every asset of the team, offense, defense, special teams. Everybody had mistakes. Everybody played their part in this loss. And so, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can blame one person specifically if you want to, you know what I mean? But it still falls on that unit. He part of that unit. So I just feel like for the second week in a row, blame to go all the way around, really.
Oh man. Jayden shines.
Crazy, man. 82% completion percentage, bro. That's ridiculous.
He was like 90 the first game. I mean, the game before that, the week prior to that.
That's like, bro. That's video. Like, I know I always say that, bro, but that's legit video game stuff. Like, And that's hard to do on a video game. You know what I mean? Like eventually it's going, you know what I mean, regress to the mean a little bit, but the level that he's playing at to begin his career is ridiculous. Like, you don't see rookie quarterbacks play at this level, man. Shout out to Cliff Kingsbury though, because he utilizing Jayden to his strengths, and that offense is clicking.
Dude, listen, Joe NFL guy, whatever that, you are the dumbest dude. To die on that hill of, you know, it's a whole lot easier to go say, hey, I was wrong.
Yeah, some people just do it for engagement.
Yeah. So
I try not to put too much stock in it.
Yeah, that's just terrible. But Jayden has been so good. He's been so good this year. So far this year, easily runaway rookie of the year. Unless something happens.
I ain't gonna say easily.
Unless something happens. Who you think pushing? Who
pushing? Malik Neighbors.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
I mean, because like, right? Okay, I'll give you this. Through the first 4 games, it's Jayden with a pretty comfortable lead. You know what I mean? But like I said, I think Jayden is going to regress some naturally. Defense is going to get more film on him, vice versa. He ain't going to complete 82% of his passes for the full season. That ain't just happening though. So I think if Malik is still able to go out and catch 12 passes a game like he's been doing, I think he's got 35 catches through the first 4 games or something like that. 36 catches or something like that through the first 4 games. It's ridiculous. So if he still go out and catch 10 passes a game for 120 yards or whatever he doing, like it ain't gonna be a landslide.
35 catches, 386 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, you know, so that's basically 9 catches a game for 90 yards or whatever, you know what I mean? So if he do that for the rest of the season, it's gonna be close. I know quarterbacks get a lot of the accolades and all that, but rookie of the year a little different because we've seen like Justin Jefferson and other people win it. You know what I mean?
Jefferson didn't get it.
I mean, not Justin Jefferson.
Chase.
Yeah. What receiver won it?
No, it was Herbert. They gave it to Herbert. Justin Herbert.
I thought
everybody thought it was Justin Jefferson. They gave it to Herbert.
Garrett Wilson won it. That's what I'm thinking of. Garrett Wilson won it. But because I'm about to say, I know a receiver won it recently. And Chase won it too.
Yeah, Chase.
But yeah, I mean, it's offensive receivers can win it, but Jayden got the best chance, I think. I wish I would have put some money on that before the season.
Yeah. Other good notable NFL games. That goddamn Evil Empire, bro.
Well, they might be in trouble now, man. Look like Rice out.
Yeah. Rice out. What's your boy? People, it's rumors. No, I was gonna say it's rumors that Kelsey and Taylor Swift.
That contract said that was over at the end of September. She ain't been to the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Might be something.
Yeah.
Might be something. But I ain't really watched I was working yesterday, so I ain't really watched a whole bunch of NFL games, so I ain't got much comment on them. But other than the one last night where Derrick Henry went absolutely bananas.
Oh my goodness. Amazing game by Derrick Henry. Bananas. First out the gate too. My word.
Yeah, he had more carries on the first attempt last night than he did all of the second game versus the Raiders. That's crazy.
Golly. We have to say if we got any other good news, we're going to save it. Because we can't end on a bad note. This happened I think Thursday or something. Theresa Weatherspoon fired after 1 year with the Chicago Sky.
Not surprising.
You said not surprising you? I'm surprised.
No. Why are you surprised?
Because it's only been 1 year.
True.
You don't have, I mean, it's literally, I mean, you showed promise until you ended up letting your best shooter go. You were in the playoff race.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's valid. But they hired the coach before they hired the GM.
Okay.
So I kind of knew once they made that trade at the middle of the year and got rid of Mabry, I kind of knew then that the GM didn't really see a future with the way the team was currently constructed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're gonna kind of, because they got 2 first-round picks now, you know what I mean? So you're gonna kind of try to build through the draft, get some more talent. You're gonna want your coach to do that. You know what I mean? And so I just kind of figured that it wouldn't shock me that if she would be fired at the end of the year and let the GM bring in the person that they really wanted. Not saying she deserved to get fired. She was dealt a pretty rough hand, but it's just the business of it.
Yeah. Sadly, man, it was reported that this morning Dikembe Mutombo passed away at the age of 58 due to brain cancer.
Yep.
Yeah. Looking at his career, his stats, I mean, he was bigger than life. But looking at his stats, he played in 1,196 games. He averaged 9.8 per game, averaged 10.3 total rebounds, 1 assist. But what he was known for was his blocks. He's known for his blocks and that finger wag. Yeah. 8-time All-Star, 2-time rebound champ, 3-time block champ, 3-time All-NBA, 1991 All-Rookie, or 91-92 All-Rookie, 6-time All-Defensive, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. He was, in my opinion, like when I think of defense and like rim protection, I think of Dikembe Mutombo and Ben Wallace. Them like the first 2 players I think of. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of center that I want defensively. Somebody where the other team is scared and think twice about coming into the paint. And that's what he was for most of his career. He was in the league for a long time, played on some great teams, played with the 76ers. He was the Nuggets team that the first 8 seed to knock off a 1 seed. There's the iconic video of him just laying on the ground hugging the basketball after they won. So the NBA lost a great ambassador for the sport as well, for what he did for bringing the sport to Africa and kind of expanding the game globally. He was a great college player at Georgetown as well. He followed in the footsteps of Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning at Georgetown and was like the next guy in line of a long list of Georgetown great big men. So truly was a legend, man, and he was gone too soon, man.
Yeah. And I thought that was it. We were actually wrapping. I was getting ready for us to come on air. And news broke that Pete Rose passed away at 83 years old. Pete Rose famously known for being banned from baseball for betting on the game. But man, Pete Rose was easily a Hall of Famer for what he did on the field. He had 14,053 at bats. He had 4,256 hits, 160 home runs, which that number seems, saying absolutely nothing today. But,
What you say? Say it again.
160 home runs.
Yeah, that don't really sound like a lot.
Yeah, that
But
don't sound much.
he was more of a hit for average guy.
Yeah. 303 batting average. He had 2,165 runs, 1,314 RBIs, 198 stolen bases, 0.375 career on base percentage, and 0.409 slugging percentage. Yeah. Gone too soon, man.
Yeah, the worst part about him is and his passing is he didn't get to see himself get inducted into the Hall of Fame, bro. And you gave the numbers, and
still hits leader.
Nobody can deny or argue whether or not he should be in the Hall of Fame on merit. You could talk about the betting on baseball and all that, and that's a different story. But for what he did on the field, he was a Hall of Famer, and I think eventually he will get in one day. But it's just sad that he wasn't here to enjoy that moment and to be a part of it.
Yeah. Man, so rest in peace, Pete Rose, and Dikembe Mutombo. I never got to see. It's funny because I never got to see Pete Rose play, but I knew he was about him, the legend of him. I didn't read out his accomplishment. He was an MVP. He was Rookie of the Year. He was a 7-time All-Star, 3-time World Series, 2-time Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, World Series MVP, 3-time batting title, and it says Clemente, the Roberto Clemente Materi Award.
Yeah, legend, man. He was GOAT.
Yeah.
We can't end on a bad note, so I'm gonna
not
ask
at
you
all, man.
real quick. Your thoughts on Cat to New York?
Man, Cat to New York, Julius Randle, and DiVincenzo.
White Dante.
First of all, they breaking up the Villanova.
So Nova Cats, Nova Knicks.
Yeah, breaking up the Nova Knicks. Sending Julius Randle to Minnesota. I think Minnesota won in that trade. I hate giving up Cat because what you kept was Gobert. I don't like Gobert. Cat added more, gave you more.
Well, what they're doing is Minnesota is trying to free up Ant. You know what I mean? Because that theory is Julius Randle less of a offensive. What's the word I'm looking for? No, he less of an offensive demand than Cat would have. You know what I mean? But the problem is Julius Randle don't always think that he's, needed less offensively. He thinks he's supposed to do more offensively. So that could cause problems at times between him and Ant. I do like the DiVincenzo move, though. Gives them a good defender, ball handler who can shoot and can score, clutch, all that kind of stuff. So that was a good fit. I'm interested in this for the Knicks, though, because for one, Brunson took $100 million less so they could, put talent around him and all that. They trade for Bridges. So now you got Bridges and Cat in the same offseason, and you re-sign Brunson this offseason. So you got to be feeling like it's finals or bust. But do you have a team with the mental makeup to make it to the finals? And then you bring in Cat back with Tom Thibodeau, which is interesting. also to me because of the way that whole thing went down whenever he was in Minnesota and Thibodeau was accused of coaching too hard. So it's just an interesting dynamic for me in that trade.
Yeah.
I got one more thing if you got time for it.
Oh yeah, let's go with it.
Do you know how close we came to seeing a triple crown in baseball?
No, how close was it?
So obviously, the RBI leader and home run leader in the National League should be no surprise to you.
Mm-hmm.
Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei,
Yeah, 54 home runs, 130 RBIs. Neither one of them was really close, but he actually finished second in batting average.
Wow.
His batting average was 310, and Luis Arias from the Padres and the Marlins, he played for both of them this year. He finished the season at 314.
Wow. That is close.
That would have been like if already, he 54 home runs, 59 stolen bases, incredible season. But if he would have added the triple crown on top of that, we might be talking about literally the greatest season we've ever seen from an offensive guy in baseball history.
Yeah. No, I was going to say baseball. Where does Paul Skeens rank his rookie season? And what he was able to, where does it rank amongst, rookies?
It's up there. Pitching wise, it's one of the best. It's probably up there with Strasburg's year, and some of them other guys. But I off the top of my head, I don't know. I had to do look more in depth to it. But he was dominant, bro. You'd have to probably go back a while to have a rookie come in and put up numbers like that.
Yeah,
especially so early in the season. You finna make me look that up.
What's the score in this? Because we got the 2 Monday night football games.
Which one? It's 30, 35-20 in the Lions Seahawks game, and the Dolphins game is 22-12.
It's 22-12. Okay, so that hit. I need this game to be 11 point. I need basically Seahawks plus 11, Lions plus 2, and I might have to make a little cash. And they keeping it close. If a Lions win by 6, 7, 8, I'm good.
So I looked up best rookie pitching seasons, and it's giving me guys in the 70s: John Montefusco, Mark Fidderich, Britt Burns, Fernando Valenzuela, Dwight Gooden, Hideo Nomo. All right, Hideo Nomo, Kerry Wood are the only two that I've seen pitch in my lifetime. Brandon Wells.
You said Darryl Strawberry?
No, Dwight Gooden.
Dwight Gooden. I remember Dwight Gooden. Okay.
Jose Fernandez, rest in peace, from the Marlins.
Oh man, what a talent!
And Michael Soroka. That's the top 10 on this list.
Okay.
I think Skeens will be somewhere in that list with what he did so far this season. He already the second pitcher since 1906 to have multiple starts with 6 innings pitched, 0 hits, 11 strikeouts in the same season. The other guy was Nolan Ryan. So yeah, like it's up there, bro. It's up there for sure. The question is, what do you rank his rookie season versus rookie seasons of Odell, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase?
Ooh, what a question. If I'm not mistaken, Odell's was short. Jamar's rookie season is probably one of the best. Not only making it to the Super Bowl, but leading it to the Super Bowl, setting the rookie record for receiving yards. I think realistically, I can't think of anybody else who had a better rookie season from LSU. In any sport.
Technically, Ben Simmons won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
Shaq had a great rookie season.
Yeah, but making it to a championship, I know they did.
Andrew Reese setting the WNBA double.
Absolutely.
That's
but
a poll
Jamar
question.
Chase.
That's a poll
Jamar,
question.
that is a poll question. We'll have to definitely run with that. But Jamar Chase putting up, making it to the Super Bowl. I know that's more team, but that run he had.
That's a lot of team though, bro.
Yeah, but that's that run he made though. God, that's a poll question. I think I'm gonna go with Jamar though. So
that's fair. That's fair. We'll ask tomorrow. We gotta figure out which 4 we're gonna put on there.
Yeah.
Jamar, I'd say Jamar, Angel, Paul Skeens, and we just gotta find one more.
Or do other so they can put input.
It'll work.
Yeah, that's a good question. We'll have to clip this and put this on there too. But man, I ain't got nothing else. We'll have to test this little thing out. Let me go ahead and get the theme music playing. This week, maybe. I don't know.
We ain't got no game to talk about, bro.
That's true.
We gotta do
our prediction. Yep. All right. Like that, we out. This show is presented by betonline.ag.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.
Golden Boot!